Our first trip to New Orleans. Wow, this place is a circus. We came here the week before Christmas because we were told it would be the time of the year that had the least humidity and the least amount of crowds on the street. But even with that, look at the streets. They aren't that much thinned out. I know it's nothing to that time of the year when Mardi Gras occurs, which is what we were trying to avoid. But even in December, there's still a hell of a lot of people out here. Off of the street, every little nightclub has their own version of jazz performed by some local artists, and most of them are actually quite good. And the ones that aren't wind up, well, elsewhere. We came here to investigate room 644 at the Bourbon Orleans Hotel. This was not an easy thing to do, as the hotel does not book specific room numbers, only room types. I pulled a few strings in the industry to make sure we got it. Otherwise, when you book, they'll just tell you, yes, we'll try. This could explain why I could find no valid videos on this room. So here we are at room 644. The bellhop that helped us up here explained that this is the most haunted room in the hotel. He said it's exciting, not scary. Man, there's some very long hallways in this hotel. We walked around corner and corner and quarter to get up here. And now we're going in. And Jan snuck in while I was filming the hallway. Pretty nice room. Fairly good size. I've got a place here to put my equipment. The little window here, we're at the very top. At the very top, the walls are, oh, those walls are thick. Walls are made completely of some kind of stucco or stone, and that's the top of the building right there.
That's not stucco.
So
like drywall.
No, that's not drywall. That's stone. And we look right down on the swimming pool. Look right down on the swimming pool down there. When people are swimming in the summer, it's probably a sight. I don't think anybody's gonna be out in the winter time here. But you know, as usual, it's got a nice. Most of the rooms has a nice television. The luggage there. We've got closet, ample room to set our equipment up in. Here's the closet area that people claim they hear tapping noises and stuffing coming out of. We'll find out. And here is the bathroom. We'll see if it's tastefully done or not here. Looks like, yeah, I'd say so. Got a walk-in shower with glass partition. That may not be a door. I don't know if it is or not. Actually, I don't think it is. That doesn't move. Basically, the shower is shower head's on the other side up here, and the partition is non-movable. Nice lighting. Got a makeup mirror. I have to put a camera in here and cell sensor unit and see if this water comes on by itself in the middle of the night. And we're now ready to set the equipment up. Well, as we tried to set the surveillance equipment up, it turned out that I'm not the investigator that I thought I was. Turned out that I left a power cord at home, and we were unable to use the surveillance equipment at all, at least until we can get another power cord when the stores open up. So that first night we were stuck using handheld equipment and just doing EVP work. Almost sounds like an SOS. Nothing, huh? Well, here we are in room 644 of the Bourbon Orleans Hotel. This is supposed to be the haunted room, and we're doing a session with an electrosmog detector. And it doesn't appear as though we're getting any results with it at all. I really have my doubts that this room has any activity. I think that they're billing it as such for marketing purposes. device is not capable of doing speech. It is an electromagnetic smog detector, electrosmog detector, and it does not have a crystal for picking up RFI, which is known as radio frequency interruption. More precisely, radio frequency interference. But I know that I heard a voice speak through it once. Another guy wrote me a letter saying that his wife had heard voices speak through it once before. When he wasn't present, they couldn't get it to duplicate. If you get close enough and speak into it, that it will actually pick up a voice. And of course, right up here on top, I've got the REM pod going there. A couple of cell sensors. The one I'm interested in is REM pod. I want to see you set that REM pod off. So this is the thing. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You know, I mean, what I heard is that they're telling me that that you were a nun. When this was a monastery, you were a black nun, African American nun, and that you lost favor with the church, with the priesthood, and that you committed suicide in this room. I'm guessing it would probably have been by hanging. I don't know how else you would have done it. Perhaps poison. I don't think you shot yourself. Nuns don't play with guns. Actually, the hotel concierge told me that she was either pushed or jumped from the window and hit down where the pool is now. It used to be a children's playground area. All you have to do is say one word and I'll know that we're on the right course of action. Just one little word. It's happened before. I had something speak to me and say hello through this device. Can you say hello? Hello? Can you say hello? That's good. Keep getting closer to it. We're breaking squelch. I can hear you breaking squelch. Are you trying to talk? That was a gunshot. We discovered it on playback. We did not hear it in real time and did not respond to it, as you can hear. My name's Stan, and this is my wife, Jan. Can you tell me what your name is?
I'm Jan.
Jan says hi. Can you tell me what your name is? There is some kind of a ceremonial cannon that is fired off once a day down in the Jackson Square area, but this is at night. Also, Jan and I both have CCWs and are avid shooters. We easily can distinguish a gunshot. This one we did not hear, even though we were both sitting in the room together. It was also picked up by the Tascam digital audio recorder sitting on the bed next to the unit. We'll loop that for you. We're breaking squelch. I can hear you breaking squelch. Are you trying to talk? A very nice gunshot echo can be heard after the shot. Now, I'm not big on capturing EVPs, but this one was impressive. I can hear you breaking squelch. Are you trying to talk? I'm just not certain what it means. The concierge says her death was a result of a window fall. Unless she shot herself first, I don't see why the gunshot would be there. More likely, this is just attached to the hotel and not the room itself. I can hear you breaking squelch. Are you trying to talk? And this is the service elevator that they let us ride in, otherwise you got to use a room key in order to access them. This is the stairway on the 3rd floor. Leads up to the ballroom area, which they currently have closed because they're doing a function in there. Yeah, flutter, 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 that's RF. Yeah, it's RF frequency up here in the ballroom. They got a lot of static EMF going, so it's going to be very hard to use this meter to detect anything that might be passing through the room. Seems like everything's passing through the room. Well, here's kind of a dead spot. So, is there anyone up here with me? Get close to this meter and you can set it off. Have to do better than that. You have to spike it. You want to get close to this meter, you have to spike it to let me know that you're here. Come on, I won't let it talk to you. Spike it up. That little blip does nothing. That's just radio frequency interference. Spike it up. Well, we got nothing here. But I can't really wait around because I'm not really authorized to be in this area, so we're going to have to take off. I'm going to head down the stairways to the first desk here. Here's the stairways going on down. Really nice hotel here. Stairways here go down to the first floor of the lobby. Says it's the 3rd floor up here, but it's like they encompass 2 floors to get to it. First floor of the lobby. Well, because of tours that we had booked, we had no time to get to Best Buy and buy that cable, or we would have missed our seats. So we'll have to wait until after we can cruise the Mississippi on the Natchez Paddlewheeler. Go on. That's cool. This paddle wheel steamboat cruise is the most popular of the tours in New Orleans. You can get tickets with or without the buffet, but I'd recommend that you get the food. It was actually quite excellent. My other recommendation is that if you are going to eat, don't sit near a window overlooking the river. I could see how you could easily get seasick with that experience. Yeah, if you took the evening dinner tour, it could easily be romantic. I see stars of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night.
You see any fish in there? Huh?
And bird. And now that that's over with, we have just enough time left to get to Best Buy, buy that cable, and get back to the room so we can start recording this evening. So here's our setup at the Bourbon Orleans Hotel here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Supposedly the haunted room, room 644. We have our DVR, the usual sound monitoring equipment. Cameras set up. Camera on one side of the TV watching the bed. REM pod, camera on the other side of the TV watching the closet area in case this cell sensor unit goes off. Have a camera down here on the floor looking into the bathroom in case the light goes off on or off in the bathroom while we're sleeping. All this gets a pretty fair image of our room area in case something happens while we're asleep and we're not aware of it, but so far we have been in here for a couple of days, and personally we have not witnessed anything other than the capture of one good EVP of what sounds like a gunshot. The next tour we vied for the following day was, of course, also one of the most popular tours, the Bayou Swamp Tour. You get to watch the wranglers feed marshmallows to the alligators. Only problem is, we chose December, and there were no alligators.
And at night over here it's in the 30s and 40s right now, so it's way out of range for them. All these green little plants around the boat that we're backing through, that's what they call the water hyacinth. That's what they brought in originally from South America. They used it out in the state of Florida for the World's Fair. Property where we've been conducting the tours for the last 35 years. Our family goes back to the year 1710, living on the same property. Please understand now, any law enforcement job here in Louisiana, just to touch base on that for a moment, they don't pay very much over here. If you work in a chemical plant, that's great, or an oil fuel related job, which is very few people. But again, law enforcement, hardly nothing at all.
Which explains police corruption.
Deputy over here, if you work for a parish, And up to dated hourly wage, and that's as of last month. That's all updated. The end of last month, $9.52 is top pay. That's after you've been there about 6 years.
Wow.
But you get hurt on the job or killed, the best you're going to see is you might send the family flowers, and you better look through them real good and make sure there's not a bill attached. Right here, what we're looking at on the right, this little canal, that's a man-made logging canal. This was dug out long ago by my great-grandfather at the time when he was living here, with a steam dredger and a barge to harvest cypress.
Even though we were shy on alligators, I enjoyed this tour. But I'll say one thing, in December, it's cold. You could also book it on an airboat, which is really cold.
Now the little way,
Yeah, thanks but no thanks. So commonplace here, it didn't even make the bird scatter. Yeah, he's doing real good there. While you're down here on the bayou, you can go right from this tour to one of the plantation tours. We basically booked a trifecta, which consisted of the Bayou tour, this tour of Alley Plantation, and another tour of the Laura Plantation, which is just down the road. Everybody wants to come to walk this walkway and see these magnificent trees. However, the mansion on the inside, well, not so magnificent. You will not be permitted to take still photos, record, or take videos inside of this plantation. When you do the inside tour, you see that as far as plantations go, it's actually pretty plain Jane. And the tour is only about 15 or 20 minutes.
The one on this side you want to do first. On the way back, this side first, then this side second. And you can also walk inside these over here. But,
Your tour package also consists of lunch. Hope you like crawfish jambalaya. If you don't, they'll leave the crawfish out for you.
Now the ones we've seen on the other plantation, girls, you know they didn't look like this, right? Check out the thunder boxes over there.
Thunderboxes.
Outhouses.
It actually looks like it's dead, but it's not. It just dries up for some reason, like you're seeing in here. But when it rains, it turns nice and green. This is the tree that's over 200 plus years old. I do recommend you guys take pictures. Here's this fern. They also use this in cosmetics now. Yeah, they got the lady cosmetics they're using this stuff. Yeah,
It makes you look younger, huh?
yeah, make you look young.
Along with his brother-in-law Balfour, who would transplant.
This is the only place they'll let you record at when you get out here to the balcony. What a sight, huh? What a sight. Just a short drive from Oak Alley is the Laura Plantation. Used to be the old Dupark Plantation. Now this is a Creole plantation, and this one is impressive. They also will let you take pictures inside, although you still won't be able to video or to record the soundtrack of the person giving a speech. But the tour lasts some time, and you'll be walked from room to room in the mansion, upstairs and downstairs, and then finally out into the lawn area, where you'll see where the slave quarters were at and some of the other amenities that the mansion had at that time. These mansions were sugar plantations, and they kept from being burned down by the Union Army by offering allegiance to that army. This tour is worth it, but be aware, no restrooms inside. They are located only in the gift shop, and if you have to leave and go, you won't be allowed back on the tour. And while we're doing these tours, the surveillance just chugs merrily away. We returned to the room in between tours, and I checked the batteries, and it seemed to me like nothing had been activated while we were out of the room or in the room. My best guess at this point is that there is nothing in this room to activate them. We did some ghost and voodoo tours here, which I didn't film, but this tour, this nighttime mule ride carriage ghost tour, was by far the most exciting. Taste of the new and the old. The ambulance next to horse-drawn carriages. I thought this event was just perfect, the perfect ambiance for New Orleans. While we were waiting for the tour, some guy OD'd in the park, and they actually had to carry him out between the mules. Hey, horse, mule, what do you think of that, huh? What do you think of that? I wanted to film the whole thing until one of the mule wranglers warned me that if the cops saw the camera, they'd take it away from me. To which I said, well, they really can't. To which he said they will, and you won't be able to prove they ever took it.
Move out! North
turn it on to Dumaine. Now, they founded the city in 1718. This colony they brought out here was basically all the drunks and criminals and prostitutes of France. They rounded them all up and told them they can go to jail or come out here. And a lot of them chose to go to jail. Back then, they had a property tax that would tax you on how many windows were on the front of your house.
Oh yeah.
So they said, all
Let's
right,
just put shutters on.
we'll just put a bunch of doors out front instead. They also taxed them on if they had closets. A closet counted as a whole room. So they had armoires and shipper robes instead. Kind of like a duplex, except they're long and slim and built with no hallways. They're built room after room. The ones on the right are single shotguns. It's literally one of those cut in half. They're the same size, because with those you just have a neighbor now. You better like them because you're stuck with them.
Yeah, some of the doors don't have any way to get down.
It's traffic.
He'll honk at cars in front of them.
We're trying to stop them. Hey, stop.
If we get stuck in traffic and he's waiting there too long, he'll honk. All right, we are on the border of the east side of the French Quarter right now.
This is what street? Rampart?
This is Esplanade, right?
All of this footage was filmed in infrared. If you do not have an infrared camera, you will not pick it up without flash.
It's also where our stable is, though, where we keep the mules.
Oh, he's going home. He knows that.
Oh, it's about 4 blocks off and over.
That's where he's going. That's where he's going.
What are you doing?
Going back home. This mule's name was Benson, and he was the best. He braided all of the tourists trying to walk across the street in front of him, and even tried to run a few of them down. It was highly entertaining.
Usually I just let them. This is the best block right here, though. I can hang out on this block.
All that dope coming out of there.
On the right, you got the Palace Market. This is where you can get some good local art. Still setting up there.
Oh, that's kind of neat. The spotted cat, huh?
That's everybody's favorite on the street.
Is it?
At the very end of the
full,
street,
yeah,
they have a
spotted
bar
cat.
called the John. That's a bar full of toilets and seats. That is Desiree's Cafe on NCIS New Orleans.
Oh.
They bring their own awning. I think they make this the second floor, because every time I pass by, the awning's on the ground.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
They'll come in and put fake stained glass on the windows.
Upstairs.
Is that it? The Royal Street Inn?
Yeah. The real street
Dwayne
name,
Price,
the real name, but that's what.
NCIS, yeah.
Remember that? That's where that lady that shoot him jumped down.
From up there.
There you go. Excuse us. Get her, Benson.
Pat O'Brien.
Alright, now you'll see Pat O'Brien's on the left.
Yep.
I'll let you in on a little secret about Pat O's. They are home of the Hurricane, our special drink, but they make theirs with a drink mix nowadays. But Dauphine Street, right here, was a mode of running water. And this was to keep all the ghosties and demons on that side in the cemetery and out of your house on this side.
Yeah.
Apparently they can't go over water. But whenever they did start to expand the quarter, people are walking out of their little gallery right there over the cemetery wall and seeing these wet, muddy graves. On the right, you got NOPD station. The locals have a nickname for NOPD. It's not our problem, darling.
Which explains why Dwayne, the head NCIS agent on NCIS New Orleans, is always trying to ditch the NOPD. One of them, we sure have.
I'll tell you, gas is 40 cents cheaper if you get it right down the road, about 3 more blocks.
Look at you, huh? What a dude, huh? What a dude.
Look at his shoes.
Yeah. He's got his toenails painted, huh? See if I can turn that off here and yeah. Got red toenails. And you got a unicorn. You got one horn on. If you want the best of the best in entertainment and mule rides, be sure to ask for Mule Benson. Our last day greeted us with rain, and I'll say one thing. When it rains in New Orleans, it really rains. The aftermath of that gave us one of the most beautiful sights, the Mississippi fogged in. As an afterthought, I'd like to say that New Orleans for us turned out to be probably 10 times more exciting and probably 10 times more dangerous than the Las Vegas Strip where we hail from. I did have to face one guy down who came running up at us in the middle of the night. There is a high police presence in the touristy French Quarter, but still be aware of your surroundings, don't take shortcuts up alleys, and when the crowds start thinning out, that should be a sign to go in. There are 65 ghost tours alone in the French Quarter. Read the reviews and only pick the ones that have a lot of reviews to them. As I anticipated, that single EVP of the gunshot was the only activity that we managed to capture during the 2.5 days that we could record. Unless somebody can come forth with historical information to show that this nun's suicide involved a firearm, that nuns play with guns, so to speak, I think I'm going to stick with the concierge's historical opinion about how the death occurred. We still believe that that EVP of the gunshot was attached to the building itself and not necessarily to the room. Probably goes back to the days when the building existed before it was a convent. Based on that, we gave room 644 at the Bourbon Orleans Hotel an activity level of none encountered and none recorded. I do believe that this most haunted room thing in room 644 is a marketing ploy of the Bourbon Orleans Hotel. But the hotel concierge does have a book of reported ghost sightings. Most of them occur on the 3rd floor around the ballroom, which is reported to be a hotbed of activity. And if we were to come again, I'd stay on the 3rd floor. That's just a little hint. We wouldn't come back to room 644. And I definitely like New Orleans, as Jan did. One of the few places that we can tell people that we're ghost hunters and nobody bats an eye or gives us a weird look. Almost everybody else does it too. So it's kind of cool being here. And yeah, we probably will be back in the future.